Well, it's a pleasure to welcome back to the program a man that we enjoyed. We knew him as the outmaker, of course, during his time in Baltimore. He's been taking on an even more significant role with the Tampa Bay Rays and back in Baltimore this week. He is our friend Bryan Baker, and he's back with us now here on GCR. Bryan, it's Glenn. It's so great to catch up with you, man. Thank you for taking the time for us.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. It's good to talk to you.
Dude, it's great to talk to you. We were joking beforehand. I felt awful because like the last time we talked, man, I was so fired up about the year you were having. I think we did like 20 minutes, and then like 2 days later you were traded. It was like, God, that sucks.
Hey, the nature of the business right
It's
there.
baseball, I guess. I know that's true. Bryan, I guess let me start with this, right? Like, did you know? We've seen your emotions, we've seen your passion before, we've talked about it. But did you know that you had this temperament in you, that you could be the guy in the ninth inning for a really good baseball team? Is that something that you said, hey, I would have always taken that on? Or have you maybe even learned that about yourself as you've gotten this opportunity this year?
That's a good question, man. I think it's just kind of hard to kind of put it in that scenario just from like all of your experience growing up. You know, I was always a starter, so it just kind of you're typically not finishing games. So I think that aspect definitely is mentally a little bit different. It's you're not getting your team there. You're actually just crossing the finish line and sealing the deal. It's a different type of adrenaline for sure. So I think it's definitely been an evolution. You know, I even got drafted as a starter, so I think I had my first year in the minor leagues was starting, and then kind of made the transition after that. But yeah, mentally, I would say the transition just to the bullpen in general, not even necessarily closing out games, was just a huge boost for me, just because I knew I didn't have to roll through the lineup a few times, and I could kind of tap into more of that adrenaline and passion, and just kind of let it. As I like to say, let it eat
Let it
for
eat.
2-3 outs or 3 or 4 outs or whatever it may be. It's typically when the leash was shorter, I had less work to do. I was better, and then I could recover and be ready the next day, and you know, help the team win in that capacity, rather than, you know, starting and throwing 5 innings every 5 days.
Does it change at all? Just the ninth specifically. Does it change at all the way that you approach in game or your ramp up or anything like that? Does it change the way that you handle actual game day because it's the last inning versus, to your point, being like the seventh and being brought into a very specific spot?
Right. Yeah. I think it all depends, you know, on the specific situation, but yeah, the general routine of the day, I think I just do everything a little bit later now, and I
Okay.
know that my window of like extreme focus is going to be a little bit later, as opposed to, you know, there's you know, most of my career I had to be, you know, ready and absolutely locked in, and by about the third or fourth inning, just in case, you know, I was coming in some situation like that. But you know, knowing you're probably going to be a little bit later in the game, it kind of it's nice in that aspect, where I'm not, you know, I'm not absolutely, you know, in that different locked in mode for such a long period of time. That can be tiring night after night for sure. So I think I've liked that aspect so far.
I would assume that given your edge, right, like that let it eat, that this, like, because a lot of times we talk to and closers in particular, I feel like have to be psychopaths, like no choice about it whatsoever. And maybe you would argue that all relievers have to be psychopaths, right? Like that
Sure,
it takes
sure.
that. But I would think that your temperament is a perfect fit for the ninth inning. Like you have to come in pissed off at no one whatsoever, right? Like you have to come in having that type of edge in a spot like that.
For sure. Yeah, I think. I mean, I think there's probably a handful of guys that can do it without kind of getting into that aggressive or
I don't know
you know,
how.
pumped up type of mode. Right. Yeah, I think it takes a serious artist, you know, to be able to do that. But I think yeah, I think especially just when you realize the nature of the season and how long it is and how many times you have to do it, it's you kind of have to draw on something. I mean, if you're throwing 3 or 4 nights a week, and you know, they're in all these big spots, it's going to take a toll. So I think that's when I really like to soak in, you know, whatever environment I'm in, and kind of feed off the energy of whether it's, you know, aggressive energy on the road where everybody's booing me,
Yeah,
or
right.
at home when everybody's cheering me on. It's just kind of take whatever I can get and kind of use that energy and hopefully give me a couple ticks on the fastball or help me get a strikeout in some capacity.
Now, what about like in Baltimore yesterday? Because like I felt like the reception was decent, right? Like it wasn't said, but I mean, come on, Cedric's an icon, right? Like, but it felt like it was fairly warm. Does that almost bother you? Or like, no, I need you guys to boo me. Like, I need you guys to hate me in this moment.
Yeah, no, it's being a passionate player who kind of draws off energy.
Yeah.
It's tough. It can be tough in these scenarios just because I have so many fond memories of this place, and I genuinely love Baltimore. So getting called upon to go get outs, you have to enter a different mind space. So I would be I'd be lying if I said I even noticed any of that.
Fair. That's
I
very
I get
fair.
into a pretty tunnel
You're,
vision mode out there, just at
right.
the get the outs and move on.
I appreciate it. Bryan Baker is with us here on GCR now with the Rays. Brian, you mentioned obviously it is the business. This is how baseball works. We all know that, and no one ends up being anywhere for very long. But was it uniquely a bummer for you? Like obviously you had been briefly in Toronto, but you established yourself as a big leaguer in Baltimore, and the success
Right.
that you had, and the season that you had put together a year ago. Did you have to go through any of the motions of experiencing that and being like, wow, maybe I thought I was going to be here for a little bit longer at least? Did you have to go through any of that? Or, like, is the excitement of another team wanting you? Does that make up for it? Can you walk me through what it's like to really go through that for the first time after having established yourself?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. It it was a lot to happen, during the season at that point. There's a lot of moving parts and just to happen, and not necessarily be expecting it. I was a little thrown off, so that makes it that makes it tough. You got to settle in quickly and get to work with your next organization. So being a pro and getting to work and trying to stay in that groove was a challenge for me for sure. I think I had a couple rough ones early on with the Rays. So but yeah, it was tough. It was a roller coaster, and just kind of overcoming that and trying to get back into the groove with the Rays was fun. Towards the end of last summer. So yeah, I'd say it's definitely a challenge, and you just kind of roll with the punches, man. It's something that probably I should have expected a little more looking back at it, but it's still, when you're in one place and you grow to love it and you've been there for 3 or 4 years, it's definitely tough.
No, I believe that, and also obviously it wasn't like July 31st either. Like it kind of came out of
Correct. Yeah, that was the other
nowhere.
aspect. They got it before the All-Star break, so
Right.
I was moving out of 3 or 4 different apartments, in a 3-week span. So
It's not
that makes
fun.
things a little
That's
difficult.
not a lot of fun. Not great. What is it about Tampa, man? Like, obviously we hate it. Like, but it's weird because we don't hate it here the way that we hate the Yankees and the Red Sox, right? Like, in a way, we kind of appreciate the fact that it is an organization that doesn't spend an ungodly amount of money. But what is it about the Rays? Like, how do you define how a team that doesn't act like that continues to find so much talent and success? And obviously, right now, you're the best team in the American League.
Right. Yeah. Just still getting settled in over here and finally getting, a full spring training with the organization and get to know everybody a little bit better. It's been awesome. Like I was saying, getting thrown into the middle of it and a mid-season trade was a little bit different. But they were such, professionals about, and accepting me into the clubhouse, and I felt at home pretty much right away. And then, yeah, just getting more time this spring and getting to know everybody even more. I understand why, they have the track record that they do. I think the professionals and the way they kind of allow you to be yourself, but then you can really find emphasize doing what you're good at, and then also finding stuff that you're not as good at, and finding ways to improve. It's pretty incredible. Just the environment from the top down. I think it's been amazing to be a part of.
You obviously show up, and then a few months later, said arrives, right? Like, and I
Yep.
guess I don't know how much time you get to spend around him, but obviously Brandon Hyde's there as well. What does it mean to have Cedric join you down there? And I know that like his relationship with Tampa obviously isn't what it is in Baltimore. Like, I get that there's a sweat equity that comes along with in Baltimore. Cedric Mullins is an icon. In Tampa, he's a baseball player, but given what he's accomplished, who he is, what did he bring to that group, and how much respect did he carry into that clubhouse?
Oh yeah, man. I think it's been. He obviously hasn't gotten off to the start that he would want to so far, but I think it's starting to come, and I think having an established guy like that in center field is just amazing to have, and I think it's been great having a familiar face over here, along with Hyde, like you said. Kind of having a little Orioles 2.0 over here, and
we're not jealous at all. We're not at all sitting there thinking like this should be us. Not even a little bit. Sorry.
No, it's been awesome, and anytime I get to take the mound, and I got said playing center field, I'm feeling pretty good about it. So it's been amazing, and yeah, I mean from the jump, it's obvious, the kind of respect that guy gets in a locker room. So I think it's been good, especially for some younger guys, just to kind of see what it's like to show up day in, day out, and be the same guy and go to work. So especially guys like Chandler, and I mean we got a lot of young guys. So I think having Seth around is going to be it's huge. It's been huge so far, and it's going to be huge for us the rest of the way.
Yeah, I mean those two guys in a foot race. Like Sed might be the fastest guy in the world until he sees Chandler Simpson, and then all of a sudden he's like, all right, man, I'm not even going to bother. Can you? This is a really human question, Brian. Right? On a day like yesterday, because obviously you're pissed off. You want to win a baseball game, right? Like you don't care that you guys have won a boatload of baseball games. You want to win all of them. But knowing Colton and like what he's been through. Is there any part of you that afterwards like, yeah, I kind of feel good for him? Like, how do you handle like the realities of being a human being, a baseball player? These are all guys you know. What is the emotion swing? Can you kind of walk me through what that looks like on a human level?
Yeah, man, it's you hit it on the head, man. It's a lot of stuff going on. I think I was telling some of the media members last week, and I was like, I really don't want to face Adley, just kind of joking around. And of course, I ended up facing him in the ninth, in the Trop last week. And just a guy that I've thrown to so many times that, I feel like probably knows my stuff pretty well. And he's, a darn good hitter as well. So it's like, I was joking around about not wanting to see him. But yeah, just all those emotions kind of come into it, man. It's a difficult task sometimes, kind of dividing the two, and turning on the competitive mode and getting after some people you love.
I mean,
it's definitely strange, but yeah, I mean, I think that game yesterday was a marathon.
That was insane.
We had a game just like that this year in Pittsburgh. It was eerily similar, but we came out on top, and that was much more fun. But yeah, I was maybe 1% happy for Colton. He's a good dude, and we're always chopping it up before the series. Now he's always telling me not to strike him out, and I always tell him not to take me for extra bases. So
man, I mean, like obviously you didn't have to worry about that yesterday, but it's what it is. Brian, because you brought it up earlier, right? Like being back here. Defining what Baltimore meant to you and being a part of such a special time for Orioles baseball, establishing yourself, like as you now are removed and you do come back on the other side, how do you put into words what your time in Baltimore meant to you?
Yeah, I think it's still like in the stages of like sinking in for me. I was just I get in such tunnel vision during the season, and then getting traded midseason was wild. And I think this off season I had a little bit of time to to kind of let it sink in a little bit, but I also got married and had a bunch of other stuff going on.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you very much. But yeah, no, I mean, I think it's like I said, it's still kind of sinking in, but yeah, obviously this is it's a special place for me, having, most of my firsts, besides my debut, as in a Blue Jays uniform for one inning. All of my other firsts were really here. So, and then, like I said, the relationships you form throughout the years, and just, suiting up every day with your brothers. Yeah, you form bonds, and yeah, I'll always be excited to come back to Camden for sure. And now that I'm not even as biased, it's still confirmed one of the best ballparks there is. So I'll always enjoy coming back and getting to see, those guys in the orange and black over there.
I respect that, and I appreciate that. And I know that the Tampa thing is particularly special for you and for your family. I guess I should add, like, did you – I know Pete's a Tampa guy. Did you have any, like, relationship at all with Pete Alonso, like, at any point going back to you both being Tampa guys?
No.
Okay.
I think we crossed over in the Cape, actually. We played together for a little bit with the Bourne Braves before I guess technically after our sophomore year at school. But yeah, I was at UNF in college and he was at UF, so we would play occasionally, but I was usually like starting a weekend game. So sometimes I didn't even like suit up for those games, so I never got to face him or anything in college, but I think we did play a little bit in summer ball together.
Well, but I'll wrap anyway with just the Tampa part of it, right? Like I saw the picture on your Instagram of like you as a kid at the Trop. Like what that part of it, I'm sure, has been uniquely special for you, correct?
For sure, yeah. I think it was the first MLB stadium I really went to and actually remembered. I think I had gone to Atlanta once when I was like 3 or 4. I don't even remember, but my first like real memories of an MLB park are at the Trop. So yeah, getting to come back there and actually play there, for the Rays, and kind of being a Florida kid, and still having a lot of friends and family, kind of whether not necessarily in the area, but at least in the state that are within striking distance, and it's been pretty cool.
That's
and
awesome.
On top of the aspect of the team not even getting to play in the Trop last year,
Right.
kind of not really having a home and having to play at Steinbrenner. It's been a little bit even more special, I would say, getting back in that building, and along with all the pros of having some air conditioning in the Florida summer will be great as well.
That's not bad. That's not bad when it's not just butt sweat everywhere the way that it typically is.
Absolutely.
And again, obviously the guys down there don't mind taking the tarps off, of course, as they're watching the games. Dude.
Yeah, just in case.
It seems so. It's like when we make fun of Burt Kreischer for it. We're like, your joke is just that you take the shirt off, and yet it's so effective. It works somehow for some reason.
There's something about it.
I don't know how to explain it, man. It's very effective. Even from afar, we're like, damn, that looks cool.
So true.
Looks
so
like
true.
a lot of fun.
Everybody's been pumped up to see that in the later stages of the game. It's
funny. Brian, I'm so happy for you, brother. Really, the success you found, it's awesome, dude. We are grateful for the time that you spent here in Baltimore. As you know, we're hoping that we kick your ass for the rest of the week as well. It's just the way it goes. But we're always appreciative of you, man. Thank you for taking the time for us, brother.
Hey, thank you, brother. Thanks for having me, and it's good to catch up, and look forward to the next time.